All right, so let's start flexing on these fools. Nah, I'm just kidding. Guys, how's it going? Freddie Baez here, your favorite lender, coming at you with your Red Cup Thursdays. One of my boys, Todd, is going to hang out with us. He is our go-to insurance professional on the real estate side, as you guys know. Todd, welcome to the show. Thank you for hanging out with us today.
Thanks for having me, buddy. It's been a while since we've seen each other because all this stuff that's going on with the pandemic, but I appreciate you and your team, and it's fun just hanging out with you for a little bit, man.
Awesome, bro. Great to hang out. Great to see you. Guys, for you guys that are joining now, do us a quick favor. Share the video across any platform that you're watching it on. I think we're live on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, a whole bunch of places that we distract ourselves with. Well, share it with your friends. Reason being is there's going to be some things that me and Todd are going to cover today. And there's probably someone at home sitting down saying, man, if I would just get there's a video with Freddie and Todd, and they actually are answering those questions. So when it comes to the comments, as you know, I'm big on sharing the love. So please, please, please comment. Just tell us what's up. Tell us where you're located, where you're watching the video from. Interesting enough, Todd covers not only the state of Florida, but he covers a whole bunch of more stuff that we're going to go ahead and cover. So hit us up, post comments, share the video, and let's get this Red Cup Thursday started. So Todd, every single time I start with tell me about you. It's such a vague one, but tell me about you, man. You're in the insurance industry, but tell me a little bit more about that. How did you land there? How long have you been in Florida? Give me a little bit more information.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, absolutely, man. So it is funny because I actually when I first got out of college, the first job that I had, and I actually did this for about a decade, for 10 years, I was actually a collegiate coach. So I coached Division III, Division II NAI schools for men's soccer is what I coached, and I did that for a long time. So loved, brother. I loved building teams. I loved developing people. I love learning. I am an absolute in every sense of the word, a grinder and a hustler, and I had teams that were like that, man. And so I was a college coach for many years. Actually was helping out coaching and working with one of the owner of our current company here at Insurance Express. And he was asking, dude, what are you doing coaching? Like, and I'm like, what do you mean? I love coaching. This is great. But unless you're at a massive, amazing, Division I institution, soccer in the States isn't like this huge thing, right? So eventually he introduced me to the insurance industry and the insurance world. And man, I didn't think I would like anything as much as coaching. But when you realize we are helping people secure insurance for one of the greatest things that one of the greatest assets that they will ever hold, it was a no-brainer, man. And I built our team, and we've flourished incredibly in the last 10 years, and I've loved every minute of it, man.
That's freaking awesome. Interesting enough, you said you were in coaching teams before.
Correct.
And I think me and you are both big advocates of knowing that we're only as strong as the teams that we have behind us. So quick shout out to the team, both from Insurance Express and the Freddie Baez team. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for looking out for us. Just so you guys are aware, one of the first steps that our team takes when that process starts with us is literally reaching out to Todd, literally saying, hey, Todd, this is a family that's going to go through this process. We want to get clarity on the numbers. And when you talk about efficiency, Todd and his team do an amazing job at getting that done, getting you guys the most aggressive quotes as well. So those agents that are out there that are looking at the show right now, they have their preferred, and hey, as they say, we don't necessarily want to be number one, right? But if someone can't get something done, trust that we will. So can you tell me a little bit on why Insurance Express? What makes it a little bit different than those other companies out there or those other reps?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And what you just said is so true and accurate, right? Everybody is going to have somebody that they use or a referral partner, and that's totally okay, right? There's enough individuals out there for everybody, and we don't always have to be number one. We at least just want to be a resource and a tool, if it's needed on the belt of a real estate professional or a client, or on the mortgage side, right? So yeah, one of the big things that sets Insurance Express apart is really just, I mean, we're a broker, right? So the ability to have contracts with every single carrier in the state of Florida is really what's our bread and butter, right? Because there's tons, Freddie, there are tons, bro, of insurance agencies out there. You go to any strip mall and there's a little insurance agency there next to the Blockbuster that's now out of business, right? So there's tons of them out there, man. But most companies have only a handful of markets, 2, 3, 4, 5 carriers that they can write through, right? So what sets us apart is, and this is just kudos to our owner, is from the very beginning, he built relationships and contracted with every single carrier in Florida so that we truly can have every option available when looking for homeowners insurance. And the best way I can describe it is like, it's almost like Travelocity, right? When you're booking a flight to Florida or to wherever you're going, not in Florida if you want nice weather, or if you want cold weather, you go into Colorado or Utah, wherever you want to go, right? You go online and you put in your information, boom, and it shoots it out to all the markets, right? So we do the exact same thing on the homeowners insurance side. We take that property, we shoot it out to all of our carriers through our comparative rating platform. And in minutes, we're getting those rates back in real time that we can go and say, and we could show them all 45 options, right? Now, we know historically most people aren't going to take the most expensive 43 or 42 or whatever. Well, we'll give 2 or 3 different options so that they can choose. And we really would have the most competitive rates available because we've got all those markets. So, I mean, it's really about the speed of return, the rate of return, and the carriers that we have, which leads to the most competitive prices. Because if you don't have all the carriers, right, you may not have the best options. Like if I was booking a flight and I only had options to 3 or 4 different airlines, I might not be getting the best flights, right? If I got, if I can Google my flights to all 40 or 30 or whatever it is, I'm going to have every option and I can pick, the ones that suit my needs. And that's exactly what we do at Insurance Express.
Got it. Yeah, you guys are awesome. And I mean, on top of that, you guys also have such a high level of service. I mean, the communication that you guys provide our team. Again, I'm only as good as my team. And even when I'm talking about my team, you guys are an extension of our team because the client comes to us and says, Freddie, get this done. And one of the big parts that you guys deal with is with the numbers, right? I say, hey, listen, go ahead and get me some quotes, get me some numbers. And you guys are on it, getting that stuff back to us. So that's super, super important. Now, you mentioned something about having all the carriers in Florida, or at least most of the carriers in Florida. Let's talk a little bit about Florida, right? Yeah. Because I know people are like, oh, Insurance Express is going to be great. Freddie Mac seems great. But Florida and insurance, like, where are we standing now? Is it just like, what's the best time of the year for someone to get their insurance updated? How risky is it? Like, what does it look like from your side?
Yeah, man, that's such a great loaded question, right? Because I'll tell you, homeowners insurance in Florida at this exact moment is probably what we would say in the industry is probably the toughest or hardest market that we've seen in almost 10 years, right? So on the flip side, mortgage rates are unbelievable, right? Real estate is booming. But on the insurance side, it is really one of the toughest markets that we've seen in a long time. And really what that's based upon is, I'll give you a couple little examples. What's happening is you have all of these third-party claims companies that are starting to pop up, right? And so you may have seen it, bro. At your renewal or even my renewal or even some of your clients, rates that used to be fairly inexpensive, a couple years ago, 24, 36 months ago, even 12 months ago, man, they have gotten much, much, much more expensive, right? Some are doubled, some have tripled. And so we're handling those and saying, hey, let's reshop your renewal and let's relook at it and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, man, it's been crazy because you're having all of these third parties come into the marketplace. And after a storm, a hurricane, bad wind and what's happening is, and I had this happen at our own home. Oh, my buddy's back there. Hey, buddy.
Having a good time.
What's happening is you're going to get these parties that are coming in and they're knocking on your door and saying, hey, Freddie, we know there was just a storm, here the other day. There might be some damage to your roof. Do you mind if we check it out? And by the way, we might be able to get you a new roof, or you might have had some water damage. If you sign this paper, right, you'll sign your rights over to us, and we'll get you a new flooring, or new this or new that. And so what's happening, bro, is all of these third-party claims companies are popping up. And they're suing the insurance companies, and a lot of them are fraudulent claims because they know they're going to get money from them. And so because of the reinsurance rates are skyrocketing, making everybody else's premiums now go like this and jump up, man. And I'll tell you, it's the hardest market we've seen in a long time. At some point, it's going to have to go to a higher level. It's going to go to a government level or something like that, because a lot of these carriers don't want to write in certain areas anymore. South Florida is a really good example right now. People are pulling out of zip codes. People are pulling out of counties. And what used to be, bro, we used to have, you go Miami, we used to have 20, 30, 40 options. Now you may have 4, 5, 6, right? So it's a very interesting time, but it's like this. It's cyclical, and it won't always be like this. It's like this right now. It'll come back down at some point. We're all waiting and praying for for the rates to come back down right now.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I mean, I see that down here a lot. Reason being is, as you guys do and we do, we obviously make sure that the service provided to the client is it's a relationship. We're not even providing like a sale or anything. It's literally about being an advisor for them in our field, for example, which is the mortgage field, and then you do that from the insurance side. So I have had conversations with the clients that are like, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and do this, and this is what's going on. I'm like, man, it's crazy how times are changing. What I know, it's like, well, hit up Todd. Todd got that. That's what he specializes in. So
I'll add one more thing onto that, Freddie. We see this all the time, right? Especially if you guys are closing a deal or you have people that you have to have a certain number to get there. We'll do everything in our power to get you there, man. We're really good with debt to income ratios, and we tend to specialize in some of those areas. And we want to close those deals. We want the clients to be in their dream homes. We want everybody to close the deal. So we really do specialize in that. And what you said is so true, bro. It is about having a team in every specialized area of finalizing that closing process, right? From mortgage to real estate to insurance to title. When you have all your ducks in a row, we talked about this earlier, man, you can feel confident that you're going to get this thing done.
100%. I mean, from what I've seen, you're a man of your word. I'm a man of my word. And at the end of the day, when I tell someone, hey, it's going to get done, I'm relying on your word too. Listen, I'll vouch for him. He's got it. And the clients, look, as long as they can sleep at night throughout their process, as long as the agents that we work with can sleep at night throughout the process and they're doing their part of the role, and everyone else involved can trust that that aspect of the transaction is taken care of by professionals that play at a high level, then the experience just happens to be a 5-star experience. We've had people ask, hey, can I get an extra star somewhere in there? I'm like, man, that's the greatest compliment that you can go ahead and give us. You know,
of course.
For those of you guys watching, do us a quick favor, drop either a question, a quick hi. I want to know where you guys are watching from. For us, we're trying to really identify how far we are spreading when it comes to the communication that we're putting out there. So thank you very much for watching. And also share. Now, I wanted to ask you something that affects us a lot here in South Florida, right? And I think I named it exactly the way that it is for a Red Cup Thursdays episode, which is what the flood. What the flood, all right? That was still PG, guys. It's a what the flood section. So what is going on with the floods in South Florida? Insurance, obviously that's an extra variable I actually call it a sandwich exercise, because mortgages have multiple layers. Hey, you like that one?
I love it. Yeah.
Well, part of that sandwich is a piece of ham in there. It's flood, right? Flood insurance. So what does that world look like? Does Insurance Express have anything that would cover that part of the insurance world? What does it look like?
Yeah, we actually, fantastic question, man. And you're absolutely right. In flood, it doesn't always play a part, right, in the mortgage, especially if you're not in a high risk zone where it's mandatory for the closing. But yes, the short answer is yes. We actually have an entire division, a entire platform called Rocket Flood, which is partnered with every national and private flood carrier in the country. We actually write flood in 48 states. And it's a super hot topic right now, man. And I'm glad you actually shared that because not everybody is in a flood zone. Those flood zones, if you know, especially we've seen a lot of realtors with questions like that of, I wasn't in a flood zone and now my client is, and what happens? So we can actually tell you if they're in a true hazardous zone or a non-hazardous zone. But it is a huge topic right now because a lot of times, people, if you're in a hazardous flood zone, you have to get the flood in order to get to closing. But a lot of people are relying on that elevation certificate in order to finalize the flood, right? And sometimes it's been ordered, sometimes it hasn't been ordered, and we're waiting on it from title. But one of the huge things is we now have the ability to get real flood quotes, bindable flood quotes and rates, without an elevation certificate, which is massive, which is huge. A lot of companies will say, oh, you want floods? Send me the cert. And you got to wait 3 or 4 days. Maybe they haven't ordered it. Maybe it hasn't been paid for, whatever. We actually have the ability through every national and private flood carrier to provide those options and rates without an elevation cert, which is really, really incredible. And I will say this. We're in South Florida, right? I feel like the entire state of Florida feels like a flood zone sometimes. So if you're in a hazardous flood zone, you're going to have it. You have to have the flood to get, in order to close on the home. If you're not, it's still a pretty darn good idea to have it because 25%, 1 out of 4 claims that are happening are in non-hazardous zones where people think like, hey, I'm cool, I'm good, I don't need flood, and then bam, they get hit and nobody has the flood insurance, right? So even if you don't, it's not required, it still may be a really good idea to get it, and it's cheap, man. It's like $400, give or take a couple bucks for the year. And again, so you can sleep better at night, it might just be wise to purchase it. Doesn't have to be part of the closing. In fact, let's do it after the closing if it's not required, so you don't mess up any of those numbers. But still a really good idea. The day after, a week after, a month after, call back and grab the flood because Florida, as you say, what the flood can be.
What the flood? I have a feeling I'm going to see next time I see you're going to have a shirt that says "What the flood."
We're going to get T-shirts made. You know what I mean?
Hey man, I want royalties. I want royalties on that. You're going to have a little face mask that says "What the flood." Guys, listen. I was going to interject and say I've seen some of these quotes, especially after you close, pertaining to flood when you're not in that flood zone, guys. For you to be able to sleep at night, especially with the way that things turn around in Florida so quickly, you're going to want to have that assurance. I mean, realistically, guys, in our market, we tend to spend that kind of money drinking Starbucks. Like, come on, just calm it down for a little bit. Let's get on some tea for a little bit and get yourself flood because, man, you're going to be able to sleep much better at night. So listen, we're running into that 20-minute mark. And I say this every single time that I do the show. I'm like, man, I'm really not trying to do so much. Now, I'm going to go ahead and share some of the info. Todd, if they were to want to get a quote for their property, quote/.com would be the best place for them to go, correct?
Yeah, if they want to go on to our online platform, absolutely. You can go to www.quote/.com. It's so simple. Click get quote. You put your name, your property address, and literally you don't need anything else. Click the submit button. If you have anything pertaining, especially Freddie, to a new purchase, like inspections, a wind mitt, a 4-point, a 1003, anything like that, they can attach those there so that we can have more information, which sometimes will help finalize specific rates like a date of birth or prior address or things like that. But the bottom line is for quoting, we need the name of the client and the address, brother. That's it. So you can do that on our website, which will expedite that quoting process, and you'll get an email with a couple different options that are there. That's one way. Some people just don't like to use websites, man, and that's cool too. You can absolutely email me at any given time. Shoot me an email with all your contact information. Email me, call me. We have an entire team of agents. Insurance Express, our headquarters is in West Palm Beach. We have 150 agents that are there, all actively working on the homeowners and really securing their insurance. So you can email me directly. I'll shoot it to my team and do exactly what we do for y'all and really make everybody look like a rock star in the process.
For sure, man. So guys, right there below the screen, I'm getting so good at the pointing, by the way.
You're very good at that, man.
Hey, I haven't done the wrong way today.
Yeah. I feel like your first video, you were probably like doing one of these.
I was like, oh, thank you very much for coming on to the show. And I mean, you're here. That's freaking awesome. So guys, email right below. Apart from that, Todd is the kind of guy that will pick up, all right? The team is also going to be there to support you. Phone number, you guys can literally hit him up directly. When it comes to the comments below this video, as you guys know, if you're sharing the video, we're also going to go ahead and put in the comments that information. So for you guys that are at home later on watching it, feel free to click the link and you may just literally from your mobile phone be able to get a little bit of clarity on that. At the end of the day, we want to just make sure that you guys understand that we have the professionals surrounding you guys to make sure that numbers are working, that you're working with the right agent, you're working with the right insurance providers to make sure that we get you the best deal out there and also the highest level of service that you can get in our market. Apart from that, Todd, I'll let you say a couple of words before I close out. Anything else you would like to share with the public?
Man, I think we hit a lot of good stuff in a short amount of time, brother. I would just reiterate exactly, kind of what we started off with. So Insurance Express is our parent company, and we really are an insurtech type of company, meaning we're almost like a technology company that does insurance, right? And we have many different platforms. We have our Quote Slash platform, which is dedicated to real estate mortgage and their clients. We have a high value platform called Protego VIP, which deals with multi-million-dollar homes, boats, any accessories, things of that nature. We have a platform called New Build Insurance Group, which gets specialty rates on new construction homes. So there's really nothing. We talked about Rocket Flood. We have an inspection company. So it really is kind of a one-stop shop for any and all insurance needs that you have. And just to reiterate, Freddie, what you said at the beginning, you want a team behind you in order to really feel secure in a streamlined closing from mortgage, real estate, insurance, and that's exactly what we do. So would love to be an option, for anybody that's out there. And Freddie, I cannot thank you enough, bro, for you, for your team, for the quality that you guys have. I could take another 20 minutes to share about that, but you're a humble dude, man. You don't like when I talk about you. So we'll let your work speak for yourself, man. And we appreciate you guys and everything that you do. Your team is unbelievable, brother.
I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for the kind words, man. It means the world to us. We're only as good as our team and our partners. So you're a reflection of that as well. For you guys watching, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Again, the comments will go ahead and reflect how you guys can also get a hold of Todd. At the end of the day, I vouch for him and his team as they are a big pillar within our business as well. So thank you very much for watching, and we will check you out on the next Red Cup Thursdays.